There is something no bigger than a poppy seed sitting on a blade of grass with its front legs stretched up, waiting for your ankle to pass. You will not feel it land on your shoe. It does not bite where you can see it. It climbs past your sock, past your knee, and it does not stop until it finds the one place you never think to check, the hairline behind the ear, the soft skin at the back of the neck. And by the time you find it, if you find it at all, it has already helped itself. I have pulled ticks off my own children, off my grandchildren, off the barn cat, and myself more times than I can count. And I am going to give you the truth my mother gave me and her mother gave her, a truth I did not want to hear as a girl because I was too busy being scared of the tree line to actually understand what I was scared of. Here is the mistake almost everyone makes. You look at the deep woods behind the property and you think, I will just stay clear of that and I will be safe. But a tick cannot chase you into the woods. It cannot chase you anywhere. It has no interest in the deep shade where the deer bed down, because that is not where you spend your day. It lives exactly where your day happens, the strip where the mowed grass gives way to the tall grass, the shady side of the porch, the fence line your garden backs up against. The danger is not 30 acres away. The danger is the 6 feet between your kitchen door and your bean rows. My husband's mother, who kept her garden until she was well past 80, used to hold up one finger, wiggle it slowly, and say, "This is a tick standing." She meant it does not hunt you. It climbs to the top of a low stem, lifts its front legs, and waits, sometimes for days, for something warm to walk close enough to grab. No flying, no jumping, no chasing. Just patience and a low blade of grass. Once you understand that its whole strategy is standing still and waiting at the edge, everything about how you defend yourself changes. You stop fearing the whole outdoors, and you start managing one narrow strip of ground. Before I walk you through what my family has done for 3 generations, I want you to know I have put the rest of my grandmother's household knowledge, the preserving, the garden remedies, the things I am afraid will be lost when I am gone, into a book you can find under my name, Nomi Yoder. It is there if you want it later. You do not need it for what I am about to teach you. Everything here costs almost nothing, and you likely already own it. So, let's take the edge back. The first and cheapest move is your lawn. A tick cannot hold its post in short, sunny grass. It dries out and dies without shade and damp. So the strip of ground nearest your house should stay cut short. And where your lawn meets the wild edge, the fence, the tree line, build a hard border. The old trick, and it still works, is a dry strip about a forearm wide, laid with wood chips or dry leaf litter, right between your mowed grass and the tall growth. A tick will not cross dry, hot ground to reach your lawn. You are not poisoning anything. You are simply making the last few feet uncrossable, so it stays on its side of the line, and your children play safely on theirs. The second move is your feet, because that is the door it walks through. It grabs the shoe or the lower leg first, since it is always waiting low. In the old days, the women treated the children's shoes and stockings with a strong-smelling herb from the mint family before they went out to pick berries, kept strictly on the leather, never on skin, and never used at all around anyone carrying a child, because it is potent stuff. Today there is a gentler, well-tested option, a treatment made from a flower in the daisy family, sprayed only onto shoes and pant cuffs, left to dry completely. One treatment holds for weeks. It is not for skin, it is for cloth. A tick that lands on treated fabric does not want to stay there, and it lets go before it ever finds a way in. Now here's the part that goes against what you have probably been told. You have likely heard, tuck your pants into your socks, button your collar to your chin, cover every inch of skin. I understand the instinct, but think about what a tick actually does. It climbs looking for bare skin. If you have sealed yourself from ankle to throat, it just keeps climbing, and the only skin left uncovered is your scalp and hairline, the one place you will never feel it and never see it. You have built it a straight road to the worst possible spot. My mother did the opposite, and I still do it her way. When I am working the garden edge, I dress as I always do, but I do not turn myself into a sealed sack. I let myself feel things. Because a tick moving across bare skin or even over a stocking gives you a tickle, a wrong little sensation, and you brush it away before it ever climbs high enough to matter. Your own skin is the alarm system. Muffling it with too many layers does not protect you. It silences the one warning you actually get. Which brings me to the habit that matters more than anything else, and it costs nothing. So, what do you do if you find one already attached? Do not panic, and do not do what your instinct tells you. Do not grab it and squeeze. Squeezing the body can push its stomach contents straight back into the bite, which is exactly what makes people sick. Do not try to burn it off, and do not smother it in oil or petroleum jelly, no matter what anyone swears by, because a tick under stress spits more into you, not less. What you want is a fine-tipped tweezer or one of the small notch tick removal tools that cost a couple of dollars. Slide it in close to the skin, right at the head, and pull straight up, slow, steady, no twisting. The way you'd ease out a splinter you want to keep in one piece. Wash the spot after with soap and water. And here is a step worth taking. Press the tick onto a strip of clear tape, fold it shut, and write the date on it. If a fever or a strange rash shows up in the weeks that follow, that tape tick tells a doctor exactly what they're dealing with. That is not superstition. That is simple preparation. And I will say this plainly because honesty is worth more than tradition. A tick bite is not something to sit on and hope about. If one has been attached to you, and especially if a rash, a fever, or flu-like aches follow, go see a doctor. There are illnesses carried by these bites that no garden remedy touches, and a doctor can stop early what becomes very hard to stop late. I hold on to the old knowledge for a great many things. This is not one of them. Keeping you well matters more than keeping every answer under my own roof. Now think for a moment about why none of this was ever taught to you plainly. Why you grew up afraid of the deep woods and never once heard that the real risk sits at the edge of your own lawn. Why the only solution anyone ever sold you was a bottle of spray and a low hum of worry that never quite goes away. Nobody sat down and decided to keep this from you. It is simpler and sadder than that. There is no product to sell in a strip of wood chips. Nobody profits from teaching a mother to check her children's hairline for free every single evening. Nobody grows rich off you mowing your grass short or noticing a tickle on your arm and brushing it off. The money sits in the fear and the bottle, not in the plain habits that actually work. So the simple things, the things every grandmother on this land once knew by heart, just quietly stopped being handed down. Not hidden, just not profitable enough for anyone to bother remembering. And what is nobody's job to remember eventually gets forgotten. Let's not let it be forgotten. 2 things before you go. First, tonight before bed, check yourself and check your little ones. Really check hairline and behind the ears, and start making it the habit it used to be in every household. Second, tell me in the comments where you garden and how old your ground is, because older homesteads and newer developments carry different risks, and I read every one of these and learn from them. If you remember what your mother or grandmother did about ticks, share it. Someone reading needs to hear exactly that. Next time, I'll take you out to the herb bed by the kitchen door and show you the 3 plants my mother-in-law always kept within arm's reach. Not one of them for ticks, but every one of them for the small fevers and scrapes of a house full of children. The things you reach for at midnight when the doctor is an hour away. Bring your spade. There is a kind of safety that comes from knowing your own small patch of ground foot by foot, its damp corners, its dry edges, what waits at the border, and how to keep it there. The women who raised families on land like this were never afraid of it. They simply knew it. We would do well to learn that again.